exclusive content.
Hi guys, my name is Sahira and I'm from the Curate, and today I'll be interviewing the lovely Jim, SC President, for his 6-month Sabbaversary. Hi Jim.
Hi.
Happy Sabbaversary. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
So why is transparency such an important issue for you?
I think transparency is fundamental to having a union that's able to run. If people don't know what the union's doing, and then how can sabbatical officers be held to account? And historically, I think it's been hard to know what the SU is doing. So as a priority, sorting that out is near the top of my agenda.
So in your manifesto, you put forth for a voting reform where students would vote for the VP of their campus only. Now, my questions for you for that would be, have you first consulted students on that? Because you also said consult students on it first. But then doesn't this also segregate us as a university and different campuses as well, when the SABs and yourself have been trying so hard this year to integrate all the campuses together?
Yeah, I mean, what we did first was consult legal advice to see the viability. And there's a regulation in the 94 Education Act which says that you cannot restrict members' voting rights.
Right.
So we can't do it anyway.
Okay.
But I did look at that before. There was an argument which was a bit contentious, which we didn't go for. But what we will do is give people the option to say which campus they're on and vote for that campus SAB and the president. Then there will come a question, would you like to vote for other VPs?
Right.
You select yes and then vote for them, or say no. So it's about removing the pressure of having to vote for other campuses that you may or may not have an interest in. And if you don't, then it's better that you probably don't vote if you don't know what goes on another campus or have a vested interest in that. It's just making the voting process clearer.
So I suppose it does give them more choice then in that matter.
It gives them the choice, yeah, but it discourages people voting for people arbitrarily.
Right, okay. So accountability was a big part of your manifesto, but who is accountable for who is where, I'd like to know. Are you accountable for the SABs? Are the SABs accountable for themselves? Or is that where the SU comes in and holds accountability?
So the student union only exists because we have students. It's there to make life as good as it can be for students. We're all accountable then directly to them. Between us, we're not accountable to each other, not really. I mean, we're a team. When we work together, we can do more. Therefore, we have an interest to work together. But it's not required. The only people accountable is our members. And currently, that's once every 12 months. The members have the chance through election to select different representatives.
Could you let us know what the scrutiny panel is and how you hope its presence will benefit the student union?
So as a student, it was never clear to me how the SABs were kept to account, how one would make sure that they were doing their jobs, that they were showing up, and that they were focusing on student interests. So the scrutiny panel is an idea which gets student people together. So it's getting site presidents, sports captains, course representatives, and we're going to try to get randomly selected students as well to make it as broad as possible. And once a month they will look through sabbatical reports, scrutinise, ask questions, and then have some powers to censure a SAB if the SAB hasn't been doing their job, commend them if they've done a good job, or pass them if you like, if they've been alright. So it's just a chance for students to reflect with the sabbatical officer about what they have done, and their findings will then be published for any students who have an interest to see.
So when will this come in place?
The idea is for the first one to sit in December.
Right.
And there hasn't been before, was faculty representatives, the course reps haven't yet been selected, liberation officers haven't been elected.
So political apathy is something that is present in every election, be that a local or a general election. And it also is very prevalent in our university as well. What would you say to students who believe that the SU doesn't affect them, and because of that very reason they chose not to vote last year?
To them I'd say, well, first of all, they pay for the union. £50 of their tuition fees go straight to the union every year roughly. That's quite a bit of money. I'd be interested to know where my money was going, and I think that's something everyone has a stake in. But beyond that, people want a better experience at university. They want more societies, more events that they're interested in, more trips away, things like that, and a better year or 3 years. Then they should have an interest in that, and they should vote.
So you've been president of the student union for 6 months now. What's one thing you didn't expect from this role?
I think one of the biggest things I didn't expect was the workload. It's huge, and it comes from all directions. There's expectations or hopes from the university, There are things you need to come to grips with incredibly quickly, so how corporate structures work, what it means to be a trustee, things like that, and that's certainly challenging. And then balancing that with the student interests and working out what students want on a national scale with a national union of students presented challenges which perhaps weren't addressed during the election campaign.
So your monthly reports have shown that you're diligently working towards 99p coffee, and you do seem to be getting closer every month. So shall we expect to pay 99p for coffee anytime soon?
Yeah, I actually have a meeting next Friday with Aramark to hopefully finalise the structure, but they principally agreed to have a trial of 99p coffee starting in January. So that'll probably be a 2 or 3 week trial, concurrent to refreshers, and the idea with that will be to ascertain whether students want it, whether it increases sales, things like that. And that will be tried initially at Regents and Harrow. There are some problems with Costa because we've got a Costa soft franchise in many of the other campuses through Aramark, and they don't offer filter coffee. But the non-Costa franchisee outlets will be able to do it. We can also do it from the union shops in Cavendish and in Harrow. So hopefully in January, and then based on the outcomes of that, we'll see how that can progress.
So what do you think is the difference between the student union this year and last year or the year before even?
I think it's hard to say from my position. I think that's something probably students in your position can judge much better than I. But I certainly hope that there's more transparency. People can find out what the union is doing if they want to through the reports, for example, on the website, see roughly where money is spent. They can speak to sabbatical officers who try to respond to emails diligently. There's pressure on permanent staff to respond to emails speedily. So hopefully students are able to find out what's happening and to influence change if they're interested. So that's the biggest change.
So we have over 20,000 students in this university. Brilliant. Yet turnout at events is always at a low. Many students claim that there's a lack of awareness of events. You could post events on Facebook, but then some students don't have Facebook. You could email students, but then not everyone checks their emails. So how is the SU working towards engagement across campuses as well?
I think one of the biggest things we're doing is building course-based societies. Because if you don't have a community within your course, then you don't have a student leader you can go to direct you to what the union's doing. We're training course reps more as well, so there are more identifiable big names on campus that you can go to and chat to, and will have a rough idea of what the union's doing, or if they don't know, they'll know where you can find out what the union's doing. So that's the biggest way, trying to create communities within courses, and then encouraging collaboration between societies and new involvement.
So societies do play a big part with the SU?
Massive. We've got 100 societies, we've got 6,000 students for our activities, and that's got to be our first go-to point for engagement.
What do you hope your legacy as the president of the student union will be?
I think I want a union which is there for students, that responds to what students want, where every student has the agency to get change, to get their concerns addressed quickly and within a reasonable time frame. And ultimately a union that is transparent, so where there are problems that the union can't deal with, people know why, and then we can start dealing with the why rather than just like what problems are we actually facing.
Okay, last question for me. What one piece of advice would you give to students running for president of the student union this year?
Go for it, back yourself, have faith in your ideas, and make sure that you want to make a change. Don't do it for the position, because the position will require long hours, a lot of hard work. But if you want to make change, it will be very rewarding once you work towards this.